My twin sister died during a routine procedure at the hospital where I worked as a nurse. What the doctors didn't know was that I'd secretly recorded their conversation about covering up their mistake, mine's a conversation that would destroy not just their careers, but the entire hospital administration. Emma and I were identical in appearance, but opposite in personality. She was bold and adventurous while I was cautious and methodical, minus traits that made me perfect for nursing and her perfect for the travel journalism she loved. When she came home complaining of stomach pain, I insisted she get checked out at my hospital where I'd worked for 7 years. It's probably just food poisoning from that street vendor in Thailand, she laughed, but agreed to the appointment to humor me. The diagnosis was simple gallstones. The procedure to remove them was so routine that Dr. Henderson, the chief surgeon, assured us she'd be home the next day. Kelly, you of all people know this is as simple as it gets, he told me with a reassuring smile. I wasn't scheduled to work that day, but I came in anyway to check on her. When her blood pressure suddenly dropped during the procedure, I was asked to wait outside. 2 hours later, Dr. Henderson emerged, still in his surgical cap, his eyes avoiding mine. There were complications, he said. We did everything we could. I collapsed. My twin, my other half gone during a routine procedure that thousands of patients survive every day. It made no sense. 3 days later, I returned to work despite everyone's concerns. I need the routine, I insisted, but really I needed answers. Emma's death certificate listed unexpected hemorrhage during surgery as the cause, but something felt wrong about the whole situation that night. I was organizing supplies in a storage closet near the doctor's lounge when I heard Dr. Henderson's voice through the thin wall. The family can't know the resident performed unsupervised, he was saying. The hospital can't afford another lawsuit right now, not with the merger negotiations. Kelly is one of our nurses, someone replied, minus Dr. Patel, our medical director. What if she starts asking questions she won't? Dr. Henderson replied. I've already spoken with Hair All about offering her a grief sabbatical. Pat, of course. By the time she returns, this will all be behind us. My hands trembled as I pressed record on my phone, capturing every word of their plan to falsify records and hide the fact that my sister had been operated on by a first-year resident with no supervision, the same resident who had apparently nicked an artery by mistake. For 2 weeks, I gathered evidence while accepting their generous sabbatical offer. I collected Emma's complete medical file through a colleague who owed me a favor. I recorded conversations with the surgical technician who was in the room. I even befriended the resident who broke down in tears after a few drinks, confessing his guilt and the pressure to keep quiet. When I finally took everything to a medical malpractice attorney, she couldn't believe the evidence I'd compiled. In 20 years of practice, I've never seen such a clear-cut case of negligence and conspiracy, she said. The hospital offered a settlement before we even filed the lawsuit, $12 million and a guarantee of systemic changes. I rejected it. No amount of money would bring Emma back, but her story could save others. Today, 3 years later, I run a patient advocacy organization named after my sister. 5 doctors lost their licenses, the hospital CEO resigned in disgrace, and most importantly, surgical protocols were completely overhauled nationwide. Emma always said I was too cautious, too afraid to make waves, but in the end, it was my methodical nature that brought her justice. Sometimes the quietest person in the room is the most dangerous one to underestimate.